Well, good morning, everyone. This is Natalie Weinstein with The Home Show. Kay Sine and I are going to be chatting about the difference of living in a home of your own, a rental apartment, or a condo.
The developer is not real interested in training anybody about how to run an association.
But they learn by association, I guess, or by osmosis, or some way to do it. I don't know how exactly.
Right, and there are books you can read out there about running meetings, but frankly, there aren't a lot of places you can get educated about how to run a condominium.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I like to do is I like to consult with boards of directors to teach them what that means and what they should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, back to your point, the developer, he's interested in selling the units as fast as he can and getting his money out of there.
Mm-hmm. Obviously.
Yeah.
He's in it. He wants to be in and wants to be out.
Right.
Okay, so when the board takes over, what is the biggest challenge then for them?
Well, the first biggest challenge is usually money.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, a developer sells units at a lower price, maybe than normal than they would be sold as a resale. Secondly, he has kept the dues or the fees very low to make it attractive to live there.
Yes. So now what happens when more money is needed? What then? Oh, I know what happens because it already happened, but let's talk about it as if I didn't know what happens.
I'm sorry, I just had to laugh. It's not funny, but... Well, what happens is then the owners have to do a budget, and usually the declaration and the bylaws tells them that they have to do a budget within 30 days or some specific time frame of the time they took over. And when they do that budget, they're usually going to get a huge shock. Not only did the developer keep the fees low so he could sell, he probably was performing a lot of the services that the association needed,
mm-hmm.
like landscaping, snow removal, repairs that he might have to do as a builder or developer.
Mm-hmm.
So normally he was doing all that without pay. Well,
so now we have to pay, or the homeowners have to pay, or whoever has to pay. And so now comes the big A word, huh?
Right. Absolutely.
So what is the big A word?
Assessments.
That's it.
And it could be the big SA words.
Yes.
Such as special assessment.
Oh.
Can be both.
Mm-hmm.
As you probably know, living in a condo, you must pay a regular maintenance assessment,
yes,
sometimes called a maintenance fee, sometimes called dues, different, but they all mean the same thing on a regular basis.
Exactly.
That normally is for the operating budget.
Mm-hmm. But
then you're required by law, usually, to put money aside in a reserve fund.
Yes.
And when the owners take over from a developer, there's normally not any reserve fund at all.
So comes the point where if you want the snow to be removed and you're not shoveling it yourself, or the roofs need to be repaired after a year or two, or things have to be power washed, or trees fell down and have to be replanted, guess who's paying?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And
how about this one? One of the owners gets unhappy and decides not to pay his fees. During the whole time he withholds his fees, the rest of the owners have to make up the difference.
I did not know that.
Sure. You know, the association has a budget, and those expenses must be met, whether or not all of the owners are making their payments.
So truly it becomes the problem for all.
Correct.
Amazing.
And that's a big issue that a lot of people don't realize even after they are living in a community.
Mm-hmm. So even if everyone came in and they were really solvent and times were good and, you know, and then the things happened and the financing and so on, and now we have people who can't pay, It's everybody's problem, not just theirs.
Correct.
Amazing. Let me ask you a question. Maybe this is something that's going on in my listeners' minds. Is there a difference between what is considered a condominium and a homeowners association?
Yes. Yes, there is. There are actual legal definitions of 3 different types of community associations. There's a condominium, and then there's a planned community, which is normally known as an HOA or homeowners association, and then there's a cooperative. And the reason that they're different is because they each have a different type of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
In a condominium, the individual owns his or her living unit and an undivided interest in the common areas.
Mm-hmm.
The association does not own any real estate.
Oh.
In an homeowners association, the individual owns his or her lot and living unit.
Mm-hmm.
And the homeowners association owns the common areas.
Mm-hmm.
In a cooperative, the individual owns stock or membership.
Mm-hmm.
And they hold a proprietary lease, or that's kind of like an occupancy agreement for his unit.
Mm-hmm.
And the association owns all the real estate, including the units.
So there is clearly a difference in terms of crafting the terminology for it. And I imagine there's also a difference in terms of benefits and responsibilities as well.
Correct. You're absolutely correct. You are very knowledgeable about this subject.
Well, I will have to tell you that a lot of which I am talking to you about, I have from my own personal experience, and as an interior designer having done, they kid me, and they call me the queen of the condos on Long Island because I've done so many of them, been to the meetings and in terms of the builders drawing on what they have given me and also the community themselves. And I also have a little edge because I have this wonderful book called Condo Buying and Ownership Made Simple by Kay Sine. And I've really actually read part of it, and actually most of it, and find it extremely helpful in clarifying some of my own misconceptions. And I really want to do that for my listeners as well. So I think that in the course of the hour, we're going to do that. And thanks to you, of course, Kay.
Well, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that.
Okay, so now the advantages and disadvantages, or the responsibilities and differences. First, let's start with the condos.
Well, I have kind of an overall view of a condo.
Okay.
And really, this goes into a lot of why people buy condos. Your explanation about why you went into a condo.
Yes.
All of those reasons that you gave are very, very good, and it's wonderful that you thought through all of those. There are some other items to be considered as well, and sometimes people don't think of those. And I will speak in terms of advantages.
Okay.
Of condos versus a single-family home, or even a homeowners association.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, recreational facilities.
Yes.
The cost of those are shared in a condo. Swimming pools, golf courses, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Are shared among all the owners, where if you live in a single-family home, you may not be able to afford those on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big advantage.
Yes, it certainly is. And I have to tell you that I use my exercise room often in my clubhouse because it's light, it's bright, it's airy, and I have an opportunity for the little time that I am in the community to socialize with some people and just say hi and talk to them because I don't really have occasion to see a lot of them otherwise.
Right, and that's very, very popular. And you're right, that's a wonderful way to get to know people.